Hey guys, so welcome back. I hope you're all doing really well. We have a haul today, and not only a haul, a Zara haul, which I'm super pumped about. Pumped, because I've kind of not really been shopping in Zara or even looking at Zara for the last couple of months, because we all know Zara comes into its own in autumn. It's just so good. Autumn and Zara just go together hand in hand, and they have so many amazing pieces at the moment, which I've made myself a small selection of to show you guys. I'm standing up today, which feels a bit odd. I feel a bit strange just knocking things over, but I thought we'd try this out, see if this is a better way to show you what I've got. So I've already unboxed and unwrapped everything, and I'm just gonna pick out everything and show you what I've got. I'm also gonna do some try on so you can see what these all look like. So I am gonna go down this rail, and I'm gonna start with jumpers, because if Zara is known for autumn, it's because of its knitwear. Can't go wrong with a Zara knit, and I've actually got three here, three of various different shades of brown, which is what I like to see. It has a really, really soft, super like fluffy texture to it. It's got a whole lot of fluff, and it just looks very kind of fuzzy and cozy and warm. This one is actually mostly made out of mohair, so it does, now that I'm feeling it, kind of have that like itchy, scratchy sort of texture to it. So we'll see when I try this one on if it's a little bit uncomfortable. I tend to be fine with things like that. It doesn't really bother me too much. But the colour of this one is really nice. It's like a taupey, it's almost like a greyish browny colour, but I really, really enjoy that. It's kind of nice and cropped too, which I do like. When it comes to jumpers, because I wear them tucked in most of the time, when they're quite long, like this one is, I just find it a little bit harder, and there's a bit more of an excess of material, so I really like the length of this one too. Okay, so first thoughts on this jumper is that it's fine. It doesn't feel too itchy. It's usually as soon as I put a jumper on that I know if I'm going to be able to wear it or not, but this one is actually really soft. I haven't got it tucked in right now, which is a bit different for me, but I really like the length. It kind of just cuts off. It's not elasticated here at the bottom. Really, really like that. I've just rolled the sleeves up like I normally do, but the sleeve length is good as well. I just think this is a really, really nice little jumper. It's light, it's going to be easy to layer with jackets and coats and things, and I love the colour so much. There's just something about the grey tone of this. I also really like it with these white jeans, but yeah, the colour of this is so, so nice. So the second jumper is more of like creamy, quite thick yarn knit. I really like the colour of this one too. Similar sort of length, it's kind of got that, not cropped, but slightly shorter length to it. This one looks a bit more oversized. I got both of these in a medium, I think. This one looks much bigger. In fact, it looks like it has quite a wide neck to it. It's got sort of a thicker, chunkier bit around the neck here, so we'll see how that looks. So this one I'm actually definitely not so crazy about. It actually feels scratchier than the first jumper did, and also, I don't know if you can see this very well on camera, but the neck is massive. Some people might like that. You can kind of wear it off to the side and have it off your shoulder. Actually, that's a little bit better. I kind of like that. But it's not really how I tend to wear my jumpers, so to me this is just a little bit like big around the neck, and I don't think sizing down would make any difference with that. I think it's just the way that it's put together. It's actually quite oversized and quite big compared to the first jumper, which is the same size as this one. You can see how different they are. I do still really like the colour of this one and the way it looks jumper wise, but it's a bit too big, it's a bit too kind of oversized around here, and yeah, it definitely is quite itchy. And then maybe the most fun of them all, this is the third jumper that I picked up. I really like this one too. It's incredible. It feels so, so soft. It's actually quite a thin jumper, whereas the other two are a little bit thicker, but it does feel a bit heavier and a bit more weighty, so it's got this really nice material. In fact, the material of this one is super, super furry. Can you see how fluffy that actually is? It kind of looks a little bit like a Star Wars character, but I like that. I dig it. There is no wool in this one, so of course that's probably why it feels so, so soft, but the little fibres on this are just really silky and lovely. I feel like this is going to be a really nice jumper to wear. The colour is like this rusty burnt orange, which I just love so much at the moment. You all know I love my neutrals, I really, really do, but these kind of like burnt terracotta, orangey browny sort of shades just sort of sit nicely with the rest of my wardrobe, so everything else that I have to pair with things like this just seems to all fit nicely together, so it's a good shade, I think, a good colour to add into a neutral palette.
Okay, there is something slightly off about the way this fits. It's very tight around here. It seems to be really elasticated around the waist, but then it's slightly looser and there's a bit more like excess material around the top. Can you see how it's just sort of like hugging around my waist, and yet there's this like excess material here? Not quite sure why it's doing that. But apart from that, I really like it. I like the colour a lot, and I really like the fluffiness of it. It's so soft, just as I thought it would be. But yeah, I think I might get a slightly bigger size in this, and even now actually that I've tucked it in, it looks a lot better. I don't really tend to gravitate towards jumpers that are this kind of tight. I tend to like a slightly looser, baggier fit, so this is a bit different for me. But yeah, I like it. I think it's the colour that's selling it to me the most, so maybe it's just a case of finding something else like this that is a slightly different kind of cut and style, because this is just annoying me already.
So I picked up a pair of jeans. I don't massively shop around when it comes to jeans. I know what I like and I stick to them because I think jeans are a tricky thing to find. But I do have a pair of these Zara mum fit jeans in a lighter light wash shade, and I have just worn them to death this summer. I've worn them so much. They're a really nice slouchy but flattering kind of mum fit, so I thought I would go for a more autumnal appropriate colour, which is like a dark wash. Never really into black jeans, but I do like a kind of washed sort of colour. You can see these ones aren't completely black. These jeans are $25.99, which I think is pretty amazing because they are such great quality. They wash super well, they don't stretch out, and they are just really, really flattering in my opinion. And it is my challenge this year not to wear light wash denim if I can help it, because that is always where I go when it comes to jeans. So I think these dark wash ones are nice. They do taper down a little bit towards the bottom. I tend to roll them up actually, that's what I do with my blue ones, so we'll see if I end up doing that with these.
And here they are on. They're actually maybe a little bit baggier than the pair that I do have. I could have maybe gone for a size smaller, but then they would be quite tight. I do like how they have this very casual vintage mum style. These are definitely a very casual pair of jeans to me. I would wear these with trainers, but then you could throw a pair of like heeled boots on, sandals, anything like that, and they still work. So yeah, I'm definitely happy that I got a black pair. I can see myself wearing these a ton. Maybe I will size up and get a smaller one, and there'll be a bit more of a skinny sort of jean look, which is definitely a different vibe. But happy with these. Really, really glad that I went for this colour.
So you guys probably all know that I do love a basic tee, a plain basic t-shirt, a slogan t-shirt, tucked into jeans is usually kind of my go-to sort of outfit day to day. I do also really like the way an oversized shirt looks, and I thought for autumn, when you're kind of layering with jumpers and coats and pieces like that, a plain shirt or even a textured printed shirt could look really nice. So I picked up a couple. The first one I'm a little bit frightened of because knowing me, I'm going to ruin this, and it is completely white. But this is a 100% silk shirt from Zara. This is probably going to be more on the pricey side, one of the more expensive items that I picked up, but it is 100% silk. It's also not a really slippery feeling silk, which I like because it doesn't have a shine to it, but it feels really beautiful. It's very thin, but really nice quality. The way it kind of hangs and sways just is really beautiful to me. They did this in quite a few colours. I was kind of debating between just a plain white and a black, but I thought I would go with white because it's a little bit more universally wearable throughout the year. And easy to dress up and dress down. That was my justification here. So it's just a very basic plain shirt. It has a little pocket. I do love a pocket detail on a shirt. I think it just breaks up this whole area, and especially as my boobs are slightly on the bigger side. If only I had a fashion chest, but no. That little pocket detail really breaks everything up. It's quite long too, so you do have a variety of options of wearing this. Obviously just left out quite long. You could tie this up, although I'd probably be scared of tying up a silk shirt, or just tucked into things, which is probably how I'm going to be wearing it. Whether it's with denim or trousers, midi skirts, anything like that, I feel like just a plain white, really, really good basic shirt is going to work. I can see a lot of outfits working with this, and I think it's going to be one of those pieces that I have in my wardrobe for a really, really, really long time because it is such nice quality.
So I put this on, but I've left it with the jeans that I just tried on as well, and I really like it. These are maybe a little bit lower than I would usually style a shirt like this with, maybe they could come up just a tiny bit higher, and I think that's because I have a slightly bigger size, but still really like the way the shirt looks. I'm not sure if maybe it is a bit oversized, but I do kind of like that vibe. But I do kind of like the way this is just tucked into the casual jeans and it's like overhanging a bit. It's very thin, so you can see it is definitely a little bit more see-through. I don't mind that. I think a sheer shirt is a sheer shirt, and it just kind of looks maybe sometimes a little bit better than something that is completely opaque. The black one would be really nice in this style. I think having a slightly sheer black silk shirt would be gorgeous, but yeah, this I can definitely see myself wearing a lot. So versatile. Let me show you how long it is as well, as I do have it tucked in. I mean, I probably would never wear it like this, it's just not really my kind of style, but I would definitely tie it up, have it in a little knot here. I think that could be cute. Lots of different ways to wear this, for sure.
So then the second shirt that I got, I'm actually already a little bit disappointed with this one. It doesn't look the way I thought it would. I decided to get this black shirt instead of the silk one because it looked like just a really nice weighted kind of silky satin type material, but to me honestly it looks a little bit more denim-y in real life, even kind of just really thick cotton. It's made out of Lysol, so it does have that weightiness to it, but not in the way that I really wanted to, so I can already tell this is going to be possibly a no for me. I feel like there's just a bit too much material here. It's going to look a bit oversized and baggy, which could definitely be a look if you like this kind of washed black, very vintage actually looking type of shirt, but it's not exactly what I wanted, so I'm going to try it on see, but for now my hopes are not high with this one.
I feel like now that I have tried the shirt on, I'm actually potentially a little bit swayed. It is very big. I've tucked quite a lot of this in. And the material and the finish of it I'm still not 100% sure on, but I actually do quite like the way it looks with these jeans. I feel a bit like a painter, or like I belong in the 90s right now, which is never a bad thing. So like I said, this definitely has that kind of vintage vibe, which I do like. I like the way it looks now, but whenever I add something new to my wardrobe, I do try and be mindful of what it's going to pair with and how I'm actually going to wear it when it comes down to the style and the sort of things that I do wear on a daily basis. So although I like this a lot, it may not be as wearable because it's not super in keeping with the style of the other clothes that I own, so
Okay, this might just be one of my favourite things. I'm still so much on the leopard print bandwagon. It's also become kind of unavoidable now. It's just absolutely everywhere. Leopard print is definitely a massive trend for autumn. I think we can all tell that by now. So this shirt actually has more of the texture and the feel of what I hoped or expected the black one would. It's a really nice silky material, slightly weighted but still light and sort of breezy. This one is actually a polyester, but then it's reflected in the price. It's under £26. And the leopard print on this is what I really liked about it. It's a very fine print, very small, kind of subtle, and I do really like that a lot. It's also one of those sort of monotone leopard prints, so it's not a bunch of different colours. It just kind of sticks to this like golden undertone and brown. I liked that a lot about it. This is very long. It's definitely got potential to be a dress. I don't know how I'd feel about wearing that. I could see it working with a belt maybe. That would be a new look for me. But to me, my idea of wearing this is probably just with a pair of light coloured jeans like this or dark ones and just tucking it in. I do have high hopes for this one and I really like it.
Okay, I am obsessed with this as a look. I really like this. I love how it looks with the white jeans. I've just got a little black bralette underneath it, so I've left it unbuttoned a little bit, but really like this. I think this is definitely a very like a subtle way to pull off leopard print but still make it quite a big part of your outfit. I think maybe it'd even be more pared down if you were wearing it with black jeans. I think black jeans would look great with this too, but so light and silky. It's a really nice cut as well. Sometimes shirts with collars just look a little bit too kind of like up here on me, but this one sort of falls open really nicely. I think that's because of the material. The sleeve length is good. I have rolled it up a little bit, but the sleeves are roll-upable, which is always very important for me when it comes to shirts. So I have it tucked in. This is absolutely how I would wear it, but I do just want to show you how long this shirt is, because this is the slightly odd and ridiculous thing about it. And now I'm suddenly wearing a dress. I'm not quite sure why Zara decided, I'm gonna have to stand back a bit, why Zara decided to make a shirt this long, because untucking it like that, I'm not sure I could pull this off at all. I think it instantly makes it look just not right. I could maybe belt this and wear it as a dress. It would definitely be a very short dress. But so that is kind of a weird little problem, especially if you're tucking in. Luckily though, because it is such a thin material, I managed to tuck it in fine. It wasn't bulging at the sides or anything like that. I might even just cut a little bit of this off so I can still tuck it, but there isn't so much excess material. That might be what I end up doing. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be keeping this one for sure.
More leopard print, you say? Yes, there is more. I feel like I've been searching for a leopard print dress for about the longest time. There seem to be so many different ones out there, and I've tried a couple and not really been happy with the print or the fit of the dress, the way it looks, and whether it's relevant for autumn. There's a lot of short kind of strappy cami dresses that are gorgeous, but I'm just not going to get the wear out of them at the moment. And then I saw this. So this is actually a shirt dress. It has a little collar, it's long sleeved, and it is a midi dress. It seems to be quite a long midi actually. It's not just below the knee, it comes down a lot longer I think. It's also button down, which I really like. It gives you kind of the option to have it a bit more open or a bit more closed, and it has a tie. A lot of the time with shirt dresses, I do find them to be a bit unflattering on me because they don't kind of cinch in at the waist where I want them to. But this one has a tie, so I think that's going to solve all those problems. It is 100% viscose, so it could be slightly problematic when it comes to washing this if I do decide to keep it. But one of you guys actually gave me a really great tip, which is that viscose just needs a really good like ironing out to sort of stretch the fibres back out again. I haven't tried that out yet, but it does sound in my head like it could be kind of logical. So if any of you are having a problem with something like that, then maybe give that one a go.
Okay, this is actually a really nice dress. I feel like this is potentially a very, very perfect autumn midi dress. It is actually very long. It kind of comes up just above my ankles, I guess you'd say. Yeah, it swishes really nicely. It definitely hangs really well. And the belt is perfect. Had it not had this, I think it would have just been really unflattering and just a bit too much. I guess you could even swap this out for a different belt if you wanted to, but I like how it's the same material as the rest of the dress. The top is really flattering to you because it is a shirt dress. Sometimes it doesn't all work and the collar's a bit too much, but I think it does. Goes in at all the right places. Yeah, and the print, although I think if you're going to be wearing this, it's definitely a bit of a statement. I actually really, really like it. And it is just such an easy dress to wear. I feel like this would be a perfect like throw on for autumn. Pair of boots, leather jacket, amazing.
Staple autumn piece. It is a leather jacket. This is a biker style leather jacket. Zara are also so good when it comes to their jackets. I think jackets are something they do really, really well, as knitwear. It has that slightly more oversized look to it and a bit more of a biker style. I think the actual style of this jacket is gorgeous. It's everything I've ever wanted in a leather jacket. All the details are perfect, and yeah, I think it is just absolutely stunning. One thing that it is not though is leather, before we all get a little bit worried about that. This is actually a polyester jacket, although it looks really, really good and it has that nice weightiness to it. And for some reason the price on here is printed in euros, which I cannot convert in my head, but this was 40 euros, which I'm guessing is around about £30. Bargain, absolute bargain. So yeah, I feel like that's just going to be thrown on top of everything from this haul and everything that I'm going to be wearing this autumn.
So all I do really need now is a pair of boots, and this would be my perfect outfit. I would definitely be wearing this. So yeah, I've just tried this on with the leopard print dress, and I think it's actually a really nice cut. It's not too short, it's definitely not cropped, but it's not too long. Sometimes if you have quite a long leather jacket, it doesn't quite work when you're wearing skirts and dresses and things. The actual style of this is just perfect biker, just as I thought. It fits really nicely. I got this in a medium, and I feel like it's maybe a little bit too tight to wear if I had something really chunky underneath, so I might think about that a bit. But with what I'm wearing now, I think this just works really, really nicely. Very happy with this. I think if you're looking for a staple leather jacket for autumn, you can't really go wrong considering the price of this one, the cut, the fit, everything. I just think it's perfect.
So I did also pick up a second jacket. This is also in a kind of similar biker style, but it is very, very different, as you will see, because it's like a teddy bear jacket. If you look at the actual material this is made out of. It's a really quite short-haired teddy coat, but I hadn't seen one in a biker style. They're usually quite oversized and big and chunky, not as tailored looking as this one is, so it really caught my attention. Also love the colour, this really rich kind of camel tone, and it's not actually lined either, so I don't think it's going to be too thick feeling. Sometimes these teddy bear coats can feel quite overbearing and heavy, and although this one is quite weighty, I feel like it is just going to be a nicer sort of layering throw-on jacket. I love these coats so much, and although this is probably maybe more of a statement kind of piece just because of the texture of it and the colour perhaps, I think paired with very simple minimal outfits as I am known to wear, this could look really good. I'm just seeing this thrown over a pair of white jeans like the one I'm wearing and a black t-shirt. White, black and beige, all good things.
So here we have the teddy coat on. I actually have tried it on with this jumper, although I probably wouldn't wear this underneath, just to see how it does with something a bit chunkier under there. Because of these like style of teddy coats, they're always going to look a little bit chunkier because they are quite thick. I actually really like it. I just really like the biker style of it. I think that's a bit different. I haven't really seen like a teddy coat like this before. I also like how the hardware is kind of like a grey rather than a silver. Little details like that I really enjoy. The colour is great. I really like the colour. It does, I think, maybe make me look a little bit wider than I am, just because there is a lot of coat going on here, but I like the length of it. I think it's a nice kind of not quite cropped but not overly long style biker jacket. Maybe with a t-shirt underneath it would work better, and that's probably more of a transitional kind of way to wear it, I think. But I actually really like this. I think I'm definitely gonna hang on to this one.
I picked out two coats. They're both actually very different styles of coat. This first one is really actually the type of coat that I do tend to go for and to reach for the most in autumn. I kind of call these like cardigan coats or jacket coats. It is quite structured, but it's not lined again, and it has a little bit of a drop shoulder, not a massive one, but just slightly. The colour of this one is stunning. They do have this coat in quite a few variations of colour. I think it's one of their staple styles, and I also loved the buttons on this. They're kind of like a very pale tortoiseshell. Got to get my tortoiseshell fix at least once in a haul. So it is very long, it is oversized and baggy. I think this is just one of those really nice throw-on coats which aren't super smart or dressy. I feel like although it is slightly more tailored, it can be really dressed down. So this is the kind of coat that I just grab for on the daily, and I thought this colour was just a really interesting one.
Okay, so the fit of this one I think is actually a little bit big. I could have done going for a size smaller, which would be smaller than my normal size for sure, but I think it is such an oversized coat that although this is supposed to be the look, I think I'd be more comfortable if it was just a little bit smaller. I do really like the actual just coat itself. I think it's just a bit too oversized on me at the moment. The colour is absolutely gorgeous. I really like that, as well as these buttons. I think these are such a nice little extra detail on there. So I'm kind of undecided on this. I think I will order it in a smaller size, just because there's just a lot of coat here.
And then the second coat, now this one is a lot different, and I did really go for this one based on the colour. I haven't ever seen anything like this. I don't have this kind of shade in my wardrobe, but I thought it was just absolutely stunning. It's such a rich chocolate brown. It's kind of a little bit more orangey, obviously not as orange as what I'm wearing now, but it's a warm, rusty chocolate brown coat, and it's a lot different. It has much more of a tailored feel to it. It's got the lapels going down the front. I think it does cinch in a little bit at the waist, and it is double-breasted too, this one. It's also very weighted. I'm actually struggling to hold this up because I'm a weakling and my arms hurt. But yeah, this is, again, very long. It's maybe even longer than the first coat. A lot more pulled in, a lot more tailored, and this is actually a wool, mostly wool coat, but it is lined, so I don't think that's going to be much of a problem.
I really like the colour of this coat. I think it is absolutely gorgeous, but I'm not sure. Again, I think it's maybe swamping me a little bit. It is a double-breasted coat, so I mean those do run the risk of looking a little bit big because there is a bit more material to them. It fits really nicely around the shoulders and my arms and everything, but as you go down there's just kind of a lot more coat than you'd possibly expect. I think the way it's kind of coming in here, and sort of like meeting in the middle, which is just what's going to happen because that's the style of it. I don't know, it's just making it a bit kind of overpowering. Can you see how it just looks a little bit too much, which is a shame because I really liked this. I liked the way it looked on the website and everything, but yeah, now that I've got it on, I feel like it's one of those things that I'm just not 100% happy with. I wouldn't want to get a smaller size either because I think then around here it would be too tight. What a shame. I really liked the idea of this coat a lot. I will continue searching for my perfect brown coat.
So guys, that was my Zara autumn haul. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Let me know down below what your favourite bits were, what you think I should keep, what you think is probably not going to work so well. Always great to have your feedback on things like that. You're like my mirror. You tell me what I need to hear. So that is it from me today. I have actually a very autumn appropriate drink right now. This is spicy. But that is it from me today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you're having a good one, and I will see you all soon. Bye.